Lord, this is our desire to be able to share a life's message with your people and others. A message from you the Most High, Supreme Highest Energy. And we pray this day that everyone who hear this podcast, truly those who have ears to hear, a mind to receive, and a heart to believe, will hear this message and welcome you into their future and ask you to create in them a clean heart. As the children say, who sing rather, on this song, Lord, I give you my heart. I say, Yah, Father, Most High God, Supreme Highest Energy Creator of all things, we give you our hearts today. We give you our hearts. And it is our humble desire, Father, that you receive our petition with thanksgiving for you to create in us a clean heart and renew in us the right spirit, your spirit, the Ruach Kadash, the spirit of truth, be in each and every one of us today, henceforth and forever. This is Dr. Samuel O. Kirkland, Sr., your servant leader and your navigator for today's life message. A message that simply says, welcome to your future. Create a clean heart, a heart that is acceptable to the Most High, to worship the Most High, and to always be conscious of the supreme highest energy that reigns in all creation, the She. Today's life's message will have the the biblical text from the Judeo-Christian book of books. One of the letters that was written or attributed to the Apostle Paul, formerly Rabbi Saul, a letter that he wrote to the churches that he had established in Colossia. We find in Colossians chapter 3, that's Paul's letter to the church of Colossia, in Colossians chapter 3, and for the edification of this short life's message, I would like to read a portion of what Paul's letter said to the churches. Let us begin at verse 12. That's Colossians chapter 3, beginning at verse 12. Now this letter is written to believers of the way of the Messiah, Jesus of Nazareth. And it begins thusly. Hear the word of the Most High, saints. Verse 12 begins, therefore, as the elect of God, holy and beloved, put your tender mercies, kindness, humility, meekness, long-suffering, bearing with one another, and forgiving one another. If anyone has a complaint against another, even as the Christ, the Messiah, forgave you, so you also must do. Paul went on to say in verse 14, but above all things, put on love, which is the bond of perfection. The glue of perfection is love. Verse 15, he goes on to say, let the peace of God rule in your hearts. Underline hearts. Let the peace of the Most High, she, rule in your hearts, to which also you were called in one body, and be thankful. Verse 16 says, let the word of Christ dwell in you richly, in all wisdom, teaching and admonishing one another in psalms and hymns, spiritual songs, singing with grace in your hearts. Underline hearts. To the Lord, to the Yah, to the Most High. We thank the Most High for the reading of His Word, Colossians 3, verse 12 through verse 16. May this word be indelibly etched in each and every one of your hearts. My beloved, there is a faith, not very well known faith, in all of the different religions of the world that teaches in one of their letters that God created all things. All of creation was created by God. But they go on to teach in this faith that the heart is created by us, by man. In other words, this teaching is that the Most High, supreme, highest energy, created everything in creation. The Most High God created everything, but the she permitted us to create our own hearts. Question is, why did the Most High allow us to create our own hearts? Is the she, the supreme highest energy, incapable of creating our hearts? I think not. Or is it a matter of us creating a heart to worship the Yah, to worship the Lord, to worship the Most High, to worship the supreme highest energy in the name of the teachings of our Messiah with the indwelling of the Ruach Hadash, the Spirit of Truth, our counselor? Could this be the reason that we are allowed to create our journey, to be a part of our future? Now, Paul began his letter by saying the elect of God. That means those who were chosen. Many are called, but few are chosen, the word says. To be elect means that you have been plucked out from among all of creation, set aside to the glory of the Most High. So, if indeed that is the case, it is my humble belief, saints, that it is our responsibility to create a heart that is worthy of being in conformity with that of the will of the Most High, and not to impose our will on others. Let me say that again. It is my belief that the Most High, the she, allowed us to create our heart, to bring it into conformity, to conform to the will of the Most High, and not to impose our will on others. I believe that the will of the Most High is not to impose his or her will upon us. Did you hear that? I believe that the will of the Most High is not to impose his or her will upon us, but instead to allow us to create our hearts according to the will of the Most High. Ezekiel saw the wheel way up in the middle of the air, and the big wheel was turning by faith. And inside of that little wheel, that big wheel, the will of the Most High was another little wheel. That's our will. Ezekiel saw the wheel way up in the middle of the air that was run by the will of the Most High. That's that energy, the supreme highest energy that created everything. The only type of energy that can create